So a small change in plans. Had an old 50-inch TV, backlight went out, screen got cracked. Don't want to talk about it. Anyway, had this piece of the back over there that I've been talking about. Wasn't going to use it because it has all these little dots in it. I don't know if you can see them or not. But what I did find is I could use it to make the cover over the LCD screen and then paint it, or I don't know, maybe cover it in a wrap of some sort, and finish this whole thing up with minimal, stress and work, and pretty easy, inexpensive. I've already got it. Basically, I went to the hardware store, I went to Menards. A sheety plexiglass like this, it's like 70 bucks. Damn. So no, I'm going to use this piece. You can see I'm scoring it with a knife and snapping it. I've already done this edge. It actually came out rather well. So since that worked, we're doing this piece. This little piece from here to here is going to be the marquee. The part that's left, and it goes back through a ways. Oh, actually, it goes all the way back to here. I'm just holding it there. You can see the monitor, back side of it. It's going to go from here as high as whatever it reaches, and then right about here I'm going to put like a dowel rod across, or a tube of some sort, heat it up, kind of curve it, see if I can get it to meet these curves, come up as far as we can. I know it's not going to reach the whole thing, but as far as we can. I mean, shit, it's free. I was going to throw it away until I realized it was 70 bucks. And then the top of this, instead of plastic, well, I'm going to use plastic, but instead of plexiglass, the inside, the magnifiers of a LCD screen, it's actually really, really thick plastic. It'll actually roll up in a tube. You can see it's rolled up. There's actually like 5 of them there. A couple of white ones, the magnifier, the silver lens. But the magnifier one, when it's up close, doesn't magnify. But it's still thick enough. I mean, it's probably like 4 millimeters thick, 3 millimeters thick. And it'll be more than enough to protect the cover. And if anything happens to it, again, I was going to throw them away. I can always get plexiglass later if I decide I really need it. These here are the pieces that I cut off on the other end. That edge over there, they're busted up here because I was actually seeing how strong they were before they actually broke. Like if someone were to hit this, they actually are quite resilient. I mean, it's the screen of a TV. They're pretty flexible. They took quite a bit before they snapped. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to practice drilling on them. Sanding actually worked perfect. I don't know if this is the one. I don't know. I sanded one of them. I don't remember which one. But to make the holes, because I'll probably have I'll have like the wood you see back there, right behind it supporting it, and then I'll screw them in, put the nice little washers, make it look nice and shiny, match the chrome button rings. But yeah, shit, can't beat free. And if you could, why would you? Unless someone were to pay me to do it. Anyway, just letting you know where I'm at the moment. Cutting the marquee out. I'll test fit it here in a moment and I'll show you that. And then the piece that's left over will go up there however far it'll reach. Curve it over if possible. Worst case scenario, I'll cut it off across here and put a piece of wood behind it, but I'd rather use this if I can. The thing already is super heavy. MDF 3/4 inch plywood, or not plywood, but MDF. This thing is hugely heavy and I got nothing in it. I mean, it's an empty case with a monitor and 2 speakers. It probably weighs 120 pounds, 130 pounds. I really don't want to add any more weight to it than I have to. The only thing that I might do, there's a 2x4 across here that's holding the monitor, also keeps it separate, or positioned. I might put one in the back here, just to kind of keep the top, because at the moment it's just this, and then the top piece, which are probably more than enough. Actually, they are. I'm not going to put another piece of 2x4 in there. There's no need to, that I can see. Because it's got the box down here, it's got the top, it's got obviously the back, and then this part, the 2x4 for the monitor. I think it should be more than enough. I mean, anyone who's actually like punching it, I mean, shouldn't be. It's mostly going to be me and the kids. You know, a few friends that might come over. I mean, if someone's punching it or hitting it or kicking it, maybe they need to go home. But yeah, well, you can see the 2x4 I got up there. It all needs to be painted. I just have it covered so that I don't get any crap on my monitor. Oh yeah, okay. I was just saying, I only saw VGA, and it's like, it is HDMI. Never mind. We're good. Slight panic mode. Yeah, this is actually going to be a lot easier, and I don't have to go anywhere. I have it. I was all set to go to Menards, and I decided to look online and saw that $70 price tag, and that was only a 28 by 30. This piece that I have was a 30 by 52. Now I cut it already down to the 26 inch, which is the width. As you can see, it fits perfectly as it's laying in there. And then, you know, the marquee, and then whatever I can get there. Alright, enough talking. Let's get to cutting and snapping, and here we go. Okay. Well, that piece didn't cut quite as nice as I had hoped. Didn't cut as nice as the long side. That was actually pretty easy. You can see right here there's a little and a little but they're well within the borders of the wood, so you'll never see it. They'll all be completely covered. So that actually came out really nice. And then this piece, I sanded it down a little bit and smoothed it so it didn't have that broken edge there. And that's going to be way up in the top where you can't see it anyway. Just wanted to share. Okay, so I got them in place. It's being held in with gray duct tape. You got that piece in. Looks pretty good. But anyway, I'll be cutting this out at the end, and then covering the rest of this with plexiglass, it is plexiglass. After I cut this out, I'll be covering this with the carbon fiber, same thing I'm going to put down here on the bottom. I'm still going to try and heat this up right across here and curve it this way. You can see it goes up to there. Try to curve it back. Right now I'm going to screw these into the sidewalls, and then I'll drill this and screw these in the plexi to them, so they're actually being held instead of the duct tape. I'll show you back here what that looks like. So this one I'll screw down, and then these will be positioned up against it, screwed into the sidewalls on both sides, and then the plexi will screw into that. Shouldn't need anything at the top because I'm going to curve it over. If anything, and I have them, I might need something here so when the plexi comes over it can screw up to it, going that way. Kind of like this, but on the inside. But even doing that, that wall is not straight. Maybe that piece of wood is crooked. We'll go with the wood being crooked. It'll be like this on the inside, and then the plexi will screw up to it. And then whatever the difference is here, I'll make it with wood. And still got the holes to drill. We're getting close. Getting close. Still got to paint everything. Still got to weld the doors together and put them back on. Still got to patch this hole and that hole. Actually, for patching, I think that's it. I got everything else done, I believe. Oh, T-molding, but getting there. Okay, got another package in for the arcade. I'm throwing parts all over. I opened it just to make sure all the parts and everything was there and everything was what it was supposed to be, and it is what I thought it was. It is. It's the controller and the buttons for the arcade. There's the two control boards. You can see they're wrapped very well. They're packed very good. Some of the buttons, looks like the 4 yellow and the 4 green, are the chrome LEDs. Those are the coin and the first player and 2-player buttons. Those are the 4 blue, the 4 red. They also have the lock nuts. And they're built in with the LED and the 3-pin connector. One of the joysticks. Second joystick. One of the USB cords. Another one of the USB cords. The wires to go from the buttons to the boards. They also control the LEDs. Oh. Of course, the knobs for the buttons. I'll put these back because we're not going to actually hook them up at this time. We're just kind of going through, making sure they're here. This one, you can see I opened it. I made sure the buttons fit. And then I was just very interested in what people were saying online about these. With the 4-way and 8-way gate is definitely on there. You can swap them back and forth. I actually like the 8-way gate, so I won't be moving it. But they were saying that the buttons, or the, how do I say it, the shaft was loose. I don't know. Lots of people can say whatever they want to say, but until you actually feel it, hopefully you can hear that. It's pretty clicky. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's loose by any means. Feels about like what I remember the arcades feeling like, actually. You know, if I were to walk up to a Pac-Man or a Galaga machine or Donkey Kong, that's what it feels like. So I don't know. There's that. I'll put a link below to the seller that I got these from. And I did check both controllers to make sure, you know, they feel good. Haven't plugged anything in. Haven't actually tested that side of things. I'll actually open the control boards. The buttons, these are all the same size. I didn't get the different sized first player, second player, and coin buttons. They're the same size as all the buttons. I'm only going to open one of these because on camera, I already checked all of them. I already know what it feels like. So here's the lock ring. That's what screws them on from the bottom. Next time you see these, I'll actually have them on the board and wiring them in. Making sure the LEDs work, making sure the buttons themselves work. They wrapped them individually, which is nice for its safety, but pain in the ass. So you drill your eighth and inch hole, drop your button into your board, and then you screw this on until it's tight. Wherever that may be. Plug your wire in here, plug the end of the wire into your board, which we'll come to in a moment. This happens to be a red one. Now the thing a lot of people I was hearing is they said that this button spins, so if you put a label in there, it will just turn. This one doesn't move. As you can see here on the side, the button's locked. It can't rotate. But what I have found, I haven't connected it, but listen. It's kind of blah. Doesn't mean it doesn't function, but you can hear me clicking it, pushing it. I'm hoping it works a lot better than it sounds. They're not very clicky. What you actually hear is the plunger hitting the bottom of the plastic. Hoping the button's really good. This is supposed to be the newest version, 2019. The updated ones. I mean, it's not sticky. It goes in, pops right back out. It's just kind of dull. You have to feel it to know what I mean, I guess. As long as the button's activating, letting go as soon as you push it, you know, as long as it does what it's supposed to, we're good. I'm going to leave that locking ring on there because I want to see if it fits in the package that way. Now I am going to be connecting these to a Raspberry Pi. And I see a lot of things on here, YouTube videos, online instructions, even the instructions on this one for 2-player controls. They just say, oh, plug them in. It doesn't matter. You can change the settings in the RetroPie or in ES Launcher, the emulator, and then you go into the game by clicking Tab on your keyboard if you have one connected. And you can change the settings to whatever you want. They're all failing to mention one thing that applies to having 2 controllers. So let's say you got your first controller set up, and again they package these very well. There's the end. Oh, there it is. So let's say you got your controller all set up, and let's say you put button A here, button B, button C, so on and so forth on player 1. But on player 2, you know, player 1, let's say button A is this on this side of the keyboard, but on player 2 your button A is way over here, and you plug it into that first spot. So when you connect that to the RetroPie, if they're not in the same places, whatever button is here is going to be corresponding to board 1. So your boards have to be set up the same way. 1 and 2 player boards have to be identical and then plugged into the Pi. If you got your buttons in different locations, it doesn't matter where, as long as they both match, as long as they're both the same. But anyway, these do have the 3-way, so you really can't get the LEDs wrong. They fit one way, and unless you know, cut a hole on the back side, you can't do it wrong. You just can't. The joystick, the 5-pin, there's only one 5-button slot or 5-pin slot. It will only fit right there. It won't fit nowhere else. If you need an extra 5 volts, there's 3 of them on here for some odd reason. Let's say you got a joystick that's not a 5-pin and it's got your 4 separate 2-pin plugs. You can plug them in there. Say you got a joystick with a light in it, you can plug that into the USB port or the red plugs that are 5 volts. That's where you need to know what your polarity is and flip them if you need to. And you also got the 4 extra buttons here. I think it's what, auto, fire, home, reset, and save. And then this kit that I bought is the 20 button. So I'll be using 10 of these on player 1 and 10 of them on player 2. That leaves 2 of them left on both boards. So there could be another 4 buttons connected. Total, 2 buttons per board. You could have 12. Don't know why you'd need 12 buttons on one controller. Not sure. Plus the other 4, you know, the auto save, the reset, home, cancel, I think it is, or auto fire, that's what it is. So that would be actually, what would that be? 12 and 4 is what, 16? So a total of 16 buttons per controller. Unless you have something with a trackball and maybe buttons on the side, like if you had a virtual pinball machine, I don't know what you would need them for. But if you had a trackball, you just plug that into the other 4 connectors for the joystick. You could just plug the trackball into those and it would work just fine. Also got the instructions that came with it, and shows how to connect them. You can scan the barcodes, shows you the controller and how to set it up. Same things I just went over. You know, pretty basic stuff. That's all I got for this one. Now we got to go cut holes and mount them. So just getting ready to map out my button layout and then drill them. Just kind of looking at a few things. For instance, this is what the joystick looks like with the full batten top on it. Screwed down tight, no extensions, just stock. I'm doing this one-handed because I'm holding the camera. I don't have the monitor out. Now this is my setup. You can see there that the thickness is going to take up that much of it. Hold that up level. There we go. As you can see, it's got not quite a half-inch of stem, plus the entire control knob itself. More than enough to move. I'm going to try it as is, but I'm probably going to buy that half-inch extender that's on Amazon. But I'm going to try it as is. I'm not going to buy it if I don't need it. That's the controllers. Now the buttons, same thing. This is kind of how they're going to be laid out. Player 1, player 2. But I was looking at those. I actually have one over here. Mounting him on the side there. And I have just enough thread without, making an indent, recessing it on the inside. So I don't think I have to cut out or make this, cut a hole for them to fit in. I just have to cut the hole straight through. And then 1 1/8 spade bit. Yep, there it's coming out. That actually fits the diameter of these. Let me bring this over here where I have more light. Fits the diameter of those perfectly, but still not as wide as the copper base down there at the bottom. Here, maybe you can see it that way. So 1 1/8 is the perfect drill bit in my case for these buttons, from the link below what I purchased. So just got to kind of rearrange these where I think I want them, get them both perfectly straight from each other. Start drilling. I think we're ready to put some buttons in. Some controllers. And again, just like I showed you, these are all going to mount from the bottom. Just like that. Just the controls sticking up through the top. Went through all the buttons. They all have that same dull feel. They're not clicky. They're not clicky like the controls are. But as long as they work and they react and they respond and they're quick, so you can play the game, I'll be happy. As long as they work. Actually, it's probably good because they're kind of quiet. They're not very loud. If they work and they're that quiet, I'll be happy. And yes, they're a little bit smaller than the holes that I have printed out. The way these are set up, you just start there in that center dot. That's where you drill your hole to fit your... And then the spacing... Oy vey. Well, like they are here, it fits my hand. I'm not going to be playing 4 buttons all at once. It's usually, like these 4, or these 3, or these 3. It's not usually all 8 at once. It's like I said, it's usually these 4, and then these 3 or these 3. Or you can set it to those 3 and those 3. But I usually set it for these, like the Sega Genesis. These 6 or these 4 for the Nintendo. You can set yours up however you prefer, but I think that's what I'm going to be going with. Maybe I might shrink them down a little bit. I haven't decided yet. I'll see what it looks like when I get all the buttons laid out and what I think. I'm thinking I might change it from 300 maybe down to 275 pixels per inch. Might shrink it just a little bit, because I think those holes are 30. They might be 36 millimeter. I don't know. These are 30 millimeter. You can see that their outer one is much bigger than mine. I don't know. That's the part, because once you cut these, unless you're going to make a whole new top for it, that's what they are. Yeah, I think I might shrink these down. I'm just going to lay them on top, look at it, think about it, and go from there. Now the joysticks will work regardless. That's where they're going. Once I, measure from here to here, there to there, and edge to edge, and make sure they're, centered. That's all I got for now, and until I cut it. Yes, the monitor's up there. I just got it covered so it doesn't get any more dust on it. Cleaning that thing's a pain. Alright, thank you. I put the little bezels on here just to make sure everything fit. They do. Still need to buy the actual marquee and get in there. Put the light in, of course. I still have to paint and put the T-molding in. I did try heating this up and bending it over. I softened it, but it won't bend. I have just a little 750 watt heater. I need something more. Probably a 1500 watt to actually melt that and, well, not melt, but get it hot enough that it'll bend. Anyway, got the brackets in, got the plexiglass supported, got the holes drilled. That was an ordeal getting those, not drilling them, but getting them mapped the way I wanted them. And they're just sitting in here. Not that I can get them out. Oh, there we go. And then the same thing with joysticks. They'll be up much higher. They're just sitting there. But I thought I'd just show you real quick. I mean, they're a perfect fit. 1.8" hole. And then I went with the Sega 2 layout format. If you look that up, it's on their website where I bought these. Again, I'll have that linked below. But they have, and I'll even link the website I used to get this layout. But it's like perfect. For me anyway. I was kind of taped them down here. You can see my marks. I taped a few different styles down, a few different patterns. There was the one straight across. No. There was the one that was kind of like a straight up at an angle, 2 rows. That was a no. And then I saw that curved one and I was like, yeah, that's just like the Sega. And then it's called the Sega 2. Then I put the coin and the player 2, player 1, and coin buttons up there. Space them out a little bit just so that, because actually the coin button is the select, the start button is the one that goes back into the main menu when you're in RetroPie, so I wanted them far enough apart that they didn't accidentally get pressed. So bend this, get the little board in here to separate or to connect the two, and I'm ready for paint. That's everything. I've got all the parts, and then after it's painted, then I can put the T-molding in, get the marquee in there. That might actually be a while. I might actually have it in place and playing, still waiting for that marquee. And the same thing with the decals I want on the side. I won't show you those till I actually get them done. I think they're cool. And then the control board, obviously I have to take it in separately because it's just too damn big. This will actually get covered with carbon fiber wrap underneath the buttons. The buttons will go through it. And then I have some, you can see them rolled up over there. It's, I think it's like, I can't remember if it's 5 or 8 mil thick plastic. And it's kind of like a magnifying glass, but up close, it's not much of a magnifier. But I think that'll make this look cool. And I'll show you when I get to that before I even attach it and stuff. But otherwise, oh yeah, all this that's clear, well, where the tape is, that's where the monitor is. I'm going to cut that piece out. There will be nothing in here. And then the rest of this will be covered in carbon fiber wrap. And then the wood that goes there will just be painted black. I don't know if I need anything for a transition between them. I'm going to go with no for now. I can always add it later, but I don't think I need it. And then I'm going to try and get these wired up tonight, maybe tomorrow, just to make sure all the buttons and the lights and the controls actually work. You know, I'm not actually going to leave it that way, but just to make sure everything works. Really suck, get to the final day and, oh, that button don't work, oh, that button don't work. None of my LEDs work. Now with these, it's not a matter of flipping the LED around, it's a plug. I mean, they either work or they don't. They fit one way and one way only. I'm sure they come apart. I do know the top part of it, the buttons, will come off and you can put a label under it like the coin or the 2-player, 1-player. But I don't know if that then gives you access to the LED. I'm not going to take it apart unless I have to. And if I don't have to, it's good. Damn, I just noticed that blue and green right there are pretty close. Oh, both of them are. Oh shit, all three of them. Here they're spaced better. What the heck? That's interesting. Don't know. But they sit flush. They're snug. They don't even have the screws on them. Yeah, you can see there. Screws aren't even on them. Bottom of that kind of ripped apart. This laminate stuff. Didn't like being drilled out. Oof. But it's underneath. Doesn't matter. As long as this up here is good. Oh yeah, and the button throws. I did and get that to pull up, which of course I'm not gonna. Oh, I did get it. There's 7/8 inch holes, and the joystick throws all 8 directions, no problem. And if it didn't, I could always go bigger, but you know, good enough as is. I said 7/8. It's actually, what was it, inch and 1/8? Yeah, it is 7/8. 7/8. These are inch and 1/8, 7/8. Could always go bigger if I needed to, but I don't think I need to. Could go 15/16, but no, 7/8 is good. Well, that's all I got until paint. And considering how big this is, I'm going to have to do it outside. Considering it's winter, I think it got up to 32 degrees today. It might be a while before I paint. Because I can't paint this in the garage. Oof, that smell. And I don't want to do latex. But yeah, there's all the buttons, the monitor, the Raspberry Pi is probably going to sit right there. The amplifier is going to sit there. It's going to have the wire that goes up to the HDMI, the wires that go down to the buttons, and then the speakers up there. And then there'll be 2 speakers in those big holes from the amp. That's it. I mean, I could hide 3 or 4 bodies in there if I had to. So, got the holes drilled, had the buttons in as you already saw. Got the top plate in. It's not quite the way I was meaning to go with it, but more than adequate. So all we have to do is cut this out for the monitor, carbon fiber up here, the edges, and then carbon fiber over this, the plastic. Of course, that's after I paint it. And then it's just pretty much put the electronics in and we're done. Painting's probably going to be the next big thing, and well, that's nothing. That's just I'm just going to hit it with flat black rattle can. Definitely, well, I'll have the plexiglass out and I'll paint this. This will all be nice and perfect. Fill in that corner. Apparently I broke it off and didn't realize it. Probably when I was prying it up in there. Oh yeah, Need to order a marquee. That too. Put the doors on. Oh, I think we're good. Probably the next time you see it, it'll be painted. Or should be painted. And hardware all put together, not the electronics. And then I'll do another one after that with all the electronics, putting them in. And then yet one more after that with everything working, and go through the RetroPie a little bit. I think it's monstrosity. It's freaking huge. It's 4 feet wide, 40 inches deep from there to there. It's 40 inches. 6.5 feet tall, and again 4 feet wide. All that for a pie. It's about the size of a credit card. What, ounce and a half. 27-inch monitor. What does that weigh? 5 pounds. And the whole thing all together is going to weigh about 150. It'll be well worth it when I'm down here pounding on these buttons with the kids or a friend or whoever. This thing ain't gonna move. It's gonna be rock solid. Yeah, so now we got some filling in to do, sanding to do, some painting, and then assembly. I think I am gonna weld the doors shut. Just make them for decoration. Weld them shut, put them in, screw them in from the back, and call it good. Alright, well there's the front doors I was talking about. I'm actually going to get a key for this one. Actually, well, yeah. And then this one, I'm going to weld right there, cover up the keyhole, cover up this little hole here. That way that one no longer opens. Just the bottom one will. I have a lock on it. I don't know why, but that way, I mean, shit. You got a ton of space in there. Might as well use something. Got all the body work done, sanded, wiped down on the top, back, left, and right. Except this spot right here. The front, I just have that spot. This side, I just have that spot. And then in the side, that piece I chipped earlier. Otherwise, we'll be painting tomorrow. And then after it dries, I'll paint it tomorrow, Saturday. And I'll just let it sit till Sunday afternoon. And then bring it back home from the paint booth. I'm going to paint the bottom of it. That's the bottom. Paint that black. And that's completely done and rough sand it. Needs to be wiped down, however. And then this is the top, the clean side. Still needs to be wiped down. That's the back. Good grief. Everything needs to be wiped down. I don't even want to talk about my trike. He's a dusty motherfucker. But anyway. And then the little card changer is over here. He just slides back up in there after it's painted and everything. Put him back in. And then, damn, we're ready for parts. Actually, what'll happen is Sunday, that'll be dry. I'll lay the carbon fiber and the plastic down on this side. I'll put all the controls and the buttons in. Connect it to the Pi, connect it to a monitor, test everything. I still haven't tested the controls and the buttons and the LEDs. I don't even know if they work. The Pi does, the monitor does, but I don't know about those buttons that are in the house. But yeah, the buttons and the joysticks are untested as of yet. So I'll probably hopefully get them all hooked up Sunday. And then I'll probably screw the control boards, I don't know, somewhere in here. And they're just going to be a permanent part of that. And then I'll probably put the speakers in on Sunday. Just have the wires dangle down for now. If I get these welded in time, I'll probably put them in as well, because it should be dry. You know, the paint should be dry by Sunday. If not, I'll weld these up during the week Because I mean this, you just, oh, I got them tight. Yeah, you just turn them and then tighten the screw and it holds itself in. Pretty easy. But yeah, got it all cleaned up. That side's in the shadow. It's all rough sanded, but all the dust and everything is off it. The only dust there's going to be is this little bit of sanding that I'm going to do with the shop vac and that little spot. And then I have to wipe down the whole front and the control board. So, next time you see it, I'm hoping it's going to be painted. Actually, it will be painted. That'll be painted. May or may not have the buttons in it. Depends on how far I get. But definitely everything will be painted next time you see it. And hopefully starting to look better. Actually, it'll be done. Still got the T-molding to order. Still got the marquee to order. T-molding, marquee. Actually, that's the only two things I need. That's it. And then somewhere down the road I'll put a decal on both sides. I just don't know what as yet. I have a couple ideas, but don't know yet. I'm still playing with that idea. But that's just a sticker that can be put on at any time, taken off, replaced. We'll see. Well, back from paint. Nope, we didn't paint the top. Talked about that. Putting carbon fiber over like a car wrap. This is painted. It's got some fingerprints on it. Had to take the coin ops out of it so I could paint it nice and weld it in that, weld it in this. Probably going to slap another coat of paint over them. We don't know yet. But, well, you can see the bottom's painted. Sides came out really good. I mean, they look good. Oversprayed the inside. It didn't really need to be painted because nobody's going to see any of it. Except maybe, you know, like this little bit of an edge here. All came out good. This side came out really good. But now I'm going to put the coin collector thingy together and put it in. Get the, oh, there's the card reader. Get him and put him in. Put the speakers in. The bottom one, I got a lock ordered for it. I was missing. Why is this? Oh, there it opened. I'm going to leave this one where it's lockable, where I can get in and out of it. I got all that space. I don't really have anything to put in it, but kind of a little cubby hole. I don't know. Who knows? Put something in there. And then these, put all back together. Oop, pop out, but put them all back together. And then put the monitor in, put the buttons in. Now this piece I can't screw down yet, but I'll put the buttons in and get everything hooked up and actually test it today. And I'll show you that. This I can't screw down. Again, it won't fit through the doorway together. It's fucking big. And we were actually evaluating the space we were putting it. It's fucking big, okay? It's a monster. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get there. But T-molding, I still have to order the amplifier. That's it. Another reason I can't bolt this down is I can't put it together until I have the T-molding in. But yeah, looks pretty damn good. So now I'm going to put all these little things back together. Got all the little screws and washers and what have yous. This part's just decoration because we're not going to charge. We're just going to have the buttons up here. Although it'd be real easy to wire them buttons down into the coin slot, but no. It's just going to be, you know, friends and family using it. I am not paying myself to play the damn thing. Because I just unlock the damn door and take the quarter in and out, in and out. Why not just leave the button up top? Let's get real. Oh yeah, wire up the speakers. Those are already in. Put the light in up there. Yeah, so marquee. Got to order that yet. T-molding amp. That's it. That's it. So, I'm going to go and start putting shit back in here. And I'll come back. Oh, I got the card reader in. Non-functional. Got the coin slot thingies in. Again, non-functional. And then the little door. It'll give me access to a whole ton of space in there. A little tiny door. So now I'm about to put those two speakers in. I'll show you that here in a moment. There's one speaker in. Not wired or anything, just mounted. And we'll do the other one. We're getting there. Okay. Coin slots are in, card reader, speakers, and wired. And soldered. They're not great, but they'll hold. Now, probably get the monitor in here actually. Probably gonna be the next thing I'm doing. Then we'll be back. When that's in, I'm gonna have to clean the damn thing because everything else now looks good. It's really a nice looking case now. Really good paint. Came out a lot better than I had hoped. I mean, I knew it'd come out good, but it actually looks really good. Don't have the back on it, of course, but oh, it's over there. But yeah. So if you want to see the back side of it, you weird little fuckers. Monitor's in. Lights in. We'll put the glass up there. I don't have the marquee yet, but I'm going to put the plexiglass in. And then I'll lay the control board over it. Put the buttons in. Start wiring them up. Turn it all on and see what's what. Oh yeah, it's pretty damn good, really. Good enough for me anyway. Not 100% perfect, but it'll do the job. So that carbon fiber that's going around the monitor, I'll have the same thing down here on the control board. The two big holes you see there. I'm going to have little cup holders. Why not? So hopefully, the next time you see it, it'll all be turned on and working here shortly. It'll still look like this, because I can't put the carbon fiber on it obviously until I put it together. And I can't put it together until it's in the room, which I can't do until I get the demolding. Delays. This one has a short in it. It's the only one. All the rest seem to be working good. Yeah, he has a short. Touch him when he goes weird. But anyway. Oops. Trying to play this with one hand. And the button's not actually in, they're just up here. Trying to think of one that'll let you play, but not kick my butt right off the bat. But all in all, it looks like everything's going to work the way it's supposed to. I think. Using the blue one moves the guy in the yellow shirt. Oop, grabbed her. Didn't mean to do that. Here, stop that. And the red one moves the girl in the red shirt. Apparently some dude's shooting at me. What the fuck? Oh, there she jumps. Oh, this is just a 2-button game. Apparently that one makes people shoot at us. But seems to be working. Cool. Exit out, and I believe back. Well, I think it's safe to say the buttons all work, remotes all worked, the Pi works, the monitor works. Now I just have to wait for my demolding to get here. Fuck. But anyway. And then the amplifier, so we have sound. Now I have to put it all back in the box. Leave a nice little review on Amazon, except for this one that has a short. I don't know what the deal is there. Plugged in all the way. Need to figure that out. But put it all away and wait till I get my T-molding. And the next video will be out after that. And the marquee. And the amp.